Here we go. There's New York
There
Vinnie.
we
He's
are.
in Seattle. I'm Michael Knight. I'm in LA. The baseball season is over for us. Mine's been over for a long time. Vinny's has now come to an end as the Mets lose to the Dodgers. And I don't know who to see. If I root for the Yankees, then my son in law will disown me. Won't let me visit the kids
Yeah.
anymore. If I root for the Dodgers, I have no self respect. How the hell can I do that? So what am I going to do? I'll just not watch the World Series?
Mikey, there is such a thing as not rooting for either side. There,
Root
there
for the
is this
umpires.
kind of place out there where you can just watch it as kind of as we're supposed to do when we are sports journalists,
Well, I've heard about
like
this place,
not
but
have
I've
an
never been.
opinion, like not care, and
Oh,
admire the athleticism and the
how do
beauty
you
of the
do that?
game.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and
give it a
maybe,
shot. I
yeah,
don't
and
know.
maybe
I can't
that's
promise
where I'm going to have
anything.
to go with this because I can't root for the Yankees. I mean, it's impossible as a Mets fan, a true Mets fan, I think, to root for the
You can't
Yankees.
do it.
You know, but it's impossible as my father's son to root for the Dodgers.
It cannot be done.
So
We, we have
I'm
problems
stuck
on both
with
sides there,
right.
and these are
I'm
not small
stuck with
problems.
the
These
single
are
case
these are
of
major. These are major problems.
I'm going to root for Arnold Palmer's junk. I think that's what I'm going to root for. I'm just going to root
You
for
mix a
Arnold
little
Palmer.
lemon. You take a little lemonade. You take a little iced tea. You put them together. What do you got?
Arnold
It's
Palmer's junk.
amazing.
I'm going to go sit at St. Vincent's College in the cafeteria in La Trobe or La Trobe, depending on how you pronounce it, and just be and just watch the games
Just
and try to appreciate them for their
s-
beauty.
soak
I
in the
can't,
atmosphere.
yeah, soak in the atmosphere. I can't, in good conscience, root for Kike Hernandez. I got nothing for him, but disdain and contempt. So I can't root for him.
Anybody makes fun of the Dodgers, it makes me laugh. I don't care what they say.
Yeah, I got no. And listen, if you want, and now here's the thing, Michael, and this is what I wonder about here, and what I just because I don't want to root for the Dodgers, just because I don't want to root for the Yankees, that doesn't mean that you can't root for the Dodgers or you can't root for the Yankees. If you are listening to this show, don't sit there and say, well, Vinny isn't going to root for this or Mikey isn't going to root for that, so I don't like them anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry. I want to, in America, go back to the place where we had independent thinking,
Be
where,
somebody. Don't listen
right,
to
if
us.
the
Be
guy on the
somebody.
radio says, you don't want to root, I'm rooting for this guy or I'm not rooting for that guy, that you can still say, well, I'm rooting for him. And I can say that's great. You can say that's great. And we can all move on with our lives.
Apparently, 10% of the population of Japan got up at 9 o'clock to make a 9 a.m. start for the Dodger games because they wanted to see Shohei Ohtani, and that's worthy of admiration. I mean, his swing alone is one of the most majestic things I've ever seen in baseball. Why is nobody swinging like this? Why isn't somebody emulating it? Why doesn't someone say, "I got to get that Shohei swing"?
You got to
It's
be you got to
it's
be able to do it first, and I don't know. Maybe he has some unique gifts that enable him or allow him or let him swing like that because it's a scientific swing. I mean, if you're gonna create a baseball player
bat held high.
with a swing,
He can hit a low ball. He can hit a high ball. He can hit a fastball. He can hit it inside. He can hit it to
yeah,
the
I mean,
opposite
you would
field. How does
you
he
would
do it?
take that. You would go after that, right? If you were going to build a baseball player, he's
That
the guy you would build.
that would be the model. And he's a
That
big
would be,
dude. He's a big
he's got
kid.
the hands up of Willie Stargell,
Hands
um,
way up.
way up. He's got the approach to the plate, the carrying of his body like a Ted Williams. He has the vision, the sight that enables him to see the ball quicker, more precisely than many players. I'm thinking of Pete Rose,
And he brings such power to his effort.
right? And he has the power that Rose didn't have,
Right.
and he just seems to have six tools,
He's got him.
and and in a five-tool game, having six tools is a pretty good thing.
That's Arnold Palmer, he'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, evidently his tool was better than lots of people's, but I he's fun to watch. I mean, he's a guy that no matter whether you like the Dodgers or you don't like the Dodgers, like you have proven, he is you're not taking anything away from Ohtani.
No. A majestic
He's
player.
he's what I call a bathroom player. Is when he's up to bat, you don't go to the bathroom.
You don't go. Don't go anywhere.
You hold it in. You stay there and watch.
Because something's going to happen, and I can't tell you what, but I'll tell you something's going to happen.
Right. There's so many possibilities of what could happen that you don't want to miss it because he's going to make something happen.
And he makes it look easy to hit to the upper deck in right field. He made it look
and
like...
what I noticed, Michael, is that when he does strike out, when a pitcher figures out how to get one past him, when a pitcher figures out how to beat him, which isn't often, he does it with a certain grace and simplicity. Where even if he's been fooled badly, he doesn't look it.
The funny thing is, he walks back to the dugout with more class than many people do when they hit a double.
Yeah, no, he is. He's just really. And I've watched him more in the last couple of weeks than I have all year, and he's just an impressive baseball player. He's an impressive guy. He uses the tools of his trade to an exemplary fashion. You want your kid to hit like him. You want your kid to conduct themselves like he conducts himself. Now, I noticed the whole gambling thing. I don't know. It's true. It's not true. Nobody's proven anything. So, and even if he was gambling, I don't think baseball would let you know about it, to be honest with you.
FanDuel won't show the game if they don't like the way you talk about them.
Yeah, it's not going to help baseball to have suspicion on a widespread basis about one of its players. That's why Pete Rose is getting into the Hall of Fame.
But in the meantime, professional and college sports have embraced gambling like a long-lost rich uncle.
Well, it's bringing them in a lot of money, Michael. I mean, the money that they're making off of gambling and the advertising and I'm sure the cuts that they're getting out of these different casinos and this and that and the other thing, different sport books, is phenomenal. They found a new revenue stream that seems to be unending.
Professional sports are the big. What's the big? The big is the game you're playing. The whole thing's a big.
Nobody is going to stop this revenue stream anytime soon for any of the sports.
In fact, Atomic Sports, whatever the sports company was that was doing the local broadcast for National League games, is now just calling itself FanDuel. We were FanDuel all along, but we had a fancy name for the television production. Now we don't. FanDuel.
Well, yeah, and most of those, how many of those local cable sports stations were owned by Bally's?
Yep, and Bally's.
And Bally's had no problem calling themselves Bally's. So if you think that gambling and sports isn't intertwined, if you think that the refs and everybody else is not somehow working for the same employer, they are. Now, your belief has to be that one doesn't interfere with the other.
That's what you have to believe.
That's what you
You
have
have
to
to believe
believe.
that.
You have to believe that the people over in the referee office down the hall don't meet up and talk with the people in the gambling office, which is down the other end of the building. When
And
they
has
get in the
much nicer. They have a much
cafeteria,
nicer office. They have a much nicer office, Vinny.
right? When they get in the cafeteria, when they see each other at lunch, they're not meeting up with each other and saying, "Hey, that game in LA this afternoon, I need the referees to make sure that thing not just that the LA Dodgers win, but that they win by 3 points or three runs or three this or two that or whatever it is. That we cover the spread, we don't cover the spread. Now you have to believe that stuff doesn't happen. You have to have
That's
the
that's that's the
innocence of a
virgin
child.
birth. That's the virgin birth of professional sports. That's what you must believe.
Now, whether you can believe that or not, I guess comes down to how much of a cynic you are.
Or how much of an idiot you are, a patsy,
That's another word for
a,
cynic, but yeah.
a sucker.
Yeah. I mean, they all operate on the principle that there's a sucker born every minute. Otherwise, you wouldn't pay $80 for parking. You wouldn't pay uh, $1,000 to get a seat license that you then have to pay for the individual seats that you want.
Oh, I thought you wanted a seat. No, we don't sell seats. We sell licenses,
So
and you could get a
licenses,
seat that
that
way.
stuff wouldn't happen. But they know, as I've said many times before, Michael, and you've heard, you probably are sick of me saying this, but the that that sports is a drug, and it is a drug that so many people are addicted to in this country. It used to be religion, but I think sports in many places has replaced religion as what people have to have.
Now on Monday Night Football, they have two games. You have to watch two games at once. And they just say,
Yeah,
well, you'll figure it out. We're going to show two games instead of Monday Night Football. It's Monday Night Football, football. And you'll like it. You'll like it. Kick off, kick off. Penalty,
and
penalty.
yeah, and now they're eroding at Friday night high school. Which Friday night there should be a federal law that says that Friday night no sports are televised except no football
If you
is
look at the
televised.
NCAA schedule, it starts on Wednesday night. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday
Right.
is the lineup.
And see, for me, there shouldn't be anything that competes with high school football. That should be where people devote their attention to. And those games should not be on TV. Those games should be, you have to go down there and you have
You
to
got to go
pay
down
your
there.
money and take your seat.
Here come the cheerleaders. Here comes the buffalo. Get
Yeah,
ready.
here comes mothers selling hot dogs. Here comes, all of the stuff that goes along with high school football.
One night, South Pass High School had a In-N-Out truck. They pull up and they sell In-N-Out burgers right out of the truck. That
Yeah,
was good. That was extraordinary. That was quite a night.
it's like a dream, isn't it, to have the In and Out come to you?
And you got the game. You got your burger. Come on. What do you want? What do you
Yeah, you
want?
really got. I mean, it's all right there. That's almost an I died and went to heaven moment.
Yep. That's everything you need. If,
Everything you need is right there.
if you can't be content for a couple hours, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, and that's how the mechanics of that should work. Leave something in the system alone. Leave something in the system like it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, so that we don't completely screw up our memories and our thoughts of what sports used to be. Now, I'm sure people will call me an idiot for saying this kind of stuff,
I
but
don't
I
see
just think
why.
that you have to have something. You have to leave some things alone. You can't mess with everything. You have to give people some kind of baseline or something to give them a remembrance, a reminder of what it used to be like. And for me, that should be high school sports.
What'd you guys do for Friday night? Well, we monkeyed around with it till we ruined it, and then we wondered why. Wondered how that happened. We were astounded. We couldn't imagine how. We couldn't envisage what had gone wrong.
Yeah, yeah, it's an amazing thing that all you have to do to fix it is to leave it alone. And
We're not
that
good
to
at that.
me is part of what's wrong is we're trying to figure out ways to put it on TV, to make it better, to do this. You don't have to make it better. Drive to any small town on a Friday night, and where Stanwood is playing. Stanwood is playing Anacortes or something like that. Not what 25 miles north.
And the
Go to
lights are
some
on.
place like that and watch the cheerleaders and watch the parents come out and watch the hot dogs being sold out of that one stand behind the end zone stands, and how the moms got the portable hot plates and
The
they're cooking the
PTA.
hot dogs on the portable hot plates, and all of the stuff is brought in by the parents from Costco. That's America. That's what the sport's supposed to be. That's the sport at its purest level.
I need more buns over here. More buns.
Yeah, it's like the fish fries in Pittsburgh and most cities with large Catholic populations in um, during Lent. Is that they're generic? They're not. They're organ. Excuse me. They're organic, not generic. Organic. They're grown. They sprout up just from the people that are there. And there's a community that comes out of that. That's spectacular. I didn't have that growing up. We didn't have that kind of stuff growing up in New York City. Um, we never had that. Everybody was too busy doing something else. But having lived close enough to smaller towns in the second half of my life, it's really become such a beautiful thing to watch, to see.
Reliable.
Yeah, it's just it's
It,
uncorrupted.
it's simple. It's not
Television,
complicated.
the money, so on and so forth, that comes in from television corrupts everything. These
And you got
games,
announcers. Now you got announcers in the dugout talking to the manager during the game,
uh,
not between innings.
and
During
I
the
hate
game.
that. I notice people that love it. They say, "Oh man, it gives us access to the game."
What did you ever learn from a manager in the dugout? Nothing. They are by far, without a doubt, the worst interviews in baseball. They got nothing to say. They're not going to tell you if they do have something to say. He's looking real good. We think he's looking good. I think he's looking good. Looks good. He looks
He
good
looks
out
good.
there.
Look at the stripe going down the side of his pants. It looks good. Yeah, I don't. There's nothing you're going to tell me. A manager is going to tell me in that interview that I probably haven't read before the game.
How long do you think Biff's
And
got? Well, he looks good. He looks good.
yeah, and it's ridiculous to have it. It doesn't give you. The only thing it does is it makes a nice picture on TV. That's what it
And
does.
last night, the Dodgers came through with another one of their tricks. Everything they tried worked, including the idea of a bullpen starting pitcher. They went through what, 10 guys, 8 guys,
Yeah,
and it really worked for them. I've seen the Giants try that with different results.
Yeah, I've seen the Mets try it. I've seen Pirate. I mean, I've seen many teams try it. Many managers try it, and usually the result is not good because you have to have a certain kind of player
Somebody that can
that
come
can
in and
do
give
it.
you everything for 2 innings, yeah. Or come in
Yeah,
and
you
have
have to have.
nothing.
Yeah, you have to have guys that are going to go out there and crank themselves up to speed like that, and
How you
not
feeling
be.
tonight? Well, I'm looking good, but I stink. I can't give you 2 innings. Well, get out there and give me nothing for 2 innings. It's your turn.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's who was it that start was that LaRussa that started that. I think it was kind of LaRussa, I think, if I'm not mistaken, with
With
the
the
2 inning
White
starter or the 3 inning starter.
with the White Sox.
Yeah, I think he was with the White Sox when he started it. But it,
He looked around and said, "I don't have a starting pitcher. What am I going to do?" Well, you're going to do 2 innings. I don't know what. When you're done, I'll let you know what we're up to.
yeah, if it works, we'll have another guy come in. If it doesn't work, get ready to go eight. So we've gone in baseball from a standpoint of hoping that a pitcher would give you a complete game, eight and a
To being
half
happy about
innings.
to being happy with 5 innings.
And if you got five and a half, you'd be very happy. You'd be ecstatic. Now, uh, we're looking for guys that can throw 2 innings,
Two
1 inning.
fabulous, memorable innings. Yeah.
Just get three batters out. Get four batters out. If you can get five or six and keep your consistency, keep them off balance,
All the
then
better.
we'll leave you in. But there seems to always be a fly in the ointment.
Well, there's so much ointment in baseball. There's got to be a fly in
A
there
lot of
somewhere.
ointment.
Yeah,
There's
that's Arnold
ointments in
Palmer.
baseball that we haven't heard of.
Arnold Palmer will tell you all about the ointment.
Arnold
I
Palmer.
think I think that's what Latrobe means. Doesn't Latrobe mean ointment in French?
Yeah, I think it does actually. I think it means dark salve.
The dark side of the moon.
The dark salve. Yeah, that was a Chartreuse Floyd album, the tribute band. But anyway, so here's how it sits. Friday night, it is 1981 all over again. I was that was the last World Series I saw before leaving New York. I remember sitting right behind home plate and right in front of Dave Winfield's mother.
Was she tall like Dave?
No, she was a shorter woman. She was sitting most of the time, so I don't quite remember, but I do remember um, going to those games at Yankee Stadium and just being, just it was kind of my kissing New York goodbye because I would be leaving New York a week and a half after that.
And you knew it. You knew you were leaving.
Knew we were going. We knew that it was everything was all set up. We had the car. We had all of the arrangements made. We had the place in San Francisco we were going to. So it was kind of like the.
Fare
I'm
thee
trying to think
well.
if it was my last sporting event in New York. I think I might have gone to a hockey game after that, but I do remember thinking that this will be the last time because I
You're in
didn't
the
know what was
garden.
going to happen when I got out there. Last time I'm going to see Yankee Stadium, maybe. Last time, one of those things where you're sitting there going, wow, this could be the last time for this, for that, this, the other thing. Last time I'll be walking to my car in fear of being shot to death in the South Bronx.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. And it happened a lot in those days.
Didn't matter if you were a Yankee fan, but I'm a Yankee fan. That doesn't cut it up here.
Yeah, it was $5 for parking, but boy, it was $5 for parking. And yeah, it just wasn't pretty. But it is it'll I haven't come up with on Friday's show. I guess we'll make our picks, right? Was it start Friday night?
Well, I got to pick.
Well, don't
Never
give me
mind.
out yet. Yeah, keep it close to your vest. Don't let anybody know because we know when we pick something, the bookies get on rushed.
Well, if I pick the Yankees, I disappoint the family. If I pick the Dodgers, I disappoint myself. I can disappoint myself and get away with it. But you see, the family that Kailani married into are all Red Sox fans from a long time back. And they don't forget. You know that, Vinny. They don't forget.
No, no,
Don't
they
cross
don't
them.
forget
Don't cross
this.
them.
Yeah, there's people that have been holding grudges for years.
And I respect Red Sox fans, whereas Yankee fans, it's harder, more difficult. They are
Yeah,
separate and
I
apart from their
respect the
team.
people in my family that are Yankee fans. I have a lot of people in my family um, that are Yankee fans. Not any brothers and sisters, but certainly cousins, and they're all good people. But they're Yankee fans. Uh, what do you do with that?
Well, you look at these
I,
two teams. They both had a lot of stars. They both had a lot of their marquees were out. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Well, a lot of teams felt that way in the playoffs, but San Diego couldn't do it. Cleveland couldn't do it. Finally, the Mets couldn't do it. Their marquee was out, but there was nothing on it. They lost their edge. They lost their hitting. They lost their pitching. They lost one element of whatever they were trying to do. Cleveland put on a good show for a couple games, but couldn't sustain it. And the Yankees just keep hitting. They just keep hitting.
yeah,
And the same with the
yeah,
Dodgers. You want
it's
to beat the
hard to
Dodgers,
top.
you got to score 7 or 8
Ju-
runs or more.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to top Judge and hard to top Stanton and hard to top
Soto.
yeah, Soto and Rizzo. I mean they have. I mean people forget that it's funny because the Yankees don't have the household word um, impact that they used to have, in my opinion. Now again, it's different. I think up here, uh, but yet when called upon, they seem to be able to deliver, which is really all you're concerned about, right?
Yeah. Are you guys the Bombers or not? Yeah, we are. We're the Bombers.
Yeah, but they're also the speedsters. They also have speed. They have power. They have great patience
Yeah.
in the batter's box. Uh,
Confidence.
it was one of the hallmarks that I saw of the Met team that I like so much. Is how many guys did you have that had long pitch count? Work the pitcher um,
Yeah.
to 3-2 with 4 or 5 fouls thrown in there as well. They know how to fight off a pitcher. They know how to work a pitcher for pitch, to pitch more. And that to
Need
me
something that
was,
can lose.
a sign of a good. So it's hard, and I think it's hard to root against Aaron Boone. I mean,
Judge is my guy.
yeah, I mean, I like Judge. I just it really is. I think hard to root against them. It takes a little, the it wasn't hard for the Red, and it's harder when you don't live there because when you live there, you live with the Yankee fan thing every day. The Yankee fans get your face every day about the Mets and this and that. The loudest guy at the plant is always the Yankee fan.
Talking about your expansion team.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about your little lowly Mets. And that's why for many years, just the Subway Series is a crucial series because you just want to shut the Yankee guy up. You want to
But
shut
one
the
day,
guy who has
please.
the hat, the road hat, the home hat, the this hat, the that hat, the 64 World Series hat, and then shows up. And I always love this about Yankee fans. Shows up with a jersey, a $400 Yankee jersey. That's usually I don't know number. Pick a Yankee retired number. Jeter.
16. Whitey
No,
Ford.
one.
Cheaters number
With
one. I was picking
no, it
nine.
wasn't one. What was it? No, Jeter wasn't 16, was he?
No, Whitey was 16.
Whitey was 16. Yeah. Let's say Whitey though. For argument's sake, let's say Whitey. So somebody shows up with the pinstripe shirt, cost him $420. It cost him the 20 because he had to have Ford in letters above the 16.
Which never happened.
And we all know that the Yankees have been the one club that have been consistent on one thing in their entire franchise existence. No
No
names on the
names.
back of the uniforms.
If you don't know who we are, maybe you'll find out someday.
Yeah. It's just been, to me, if there's one thing that I love the Yankees for, it is the fact that when Major League Baseball told them you got to have names on the back of your uniforms, they said, fine us. Do what you want to do to us. But we're not putting the names on the back of the uniforms.
Ain't gonna happen.
And after much consternation, after much appeal, after much going back and forth between the league offices and the manufacturer of the uniforms and everything, they won. They beat Major League Baseball. They said that Major League Baseball came out and said that this is such tradition for baseball that no, you don't have to put the name of the player on the back of the uniform. Whether
You
it's
want to pick on
batting
somebody?
practice,
Go pick on the rest of the league. Go pick on the rest of the league. You're not telling
right?
us what to
Go
do.
find somebody else. We're not putting our name on the back on our backs on the uniform. Everybody here is a Yankee. That's the only name that goes on the uniform. And why? That's it. Steinbrenner said, if you don't like it, sue us. And I don't think there was ever a lawsuit delivered or paper served. So, and it's one thing. I mean, I don't admire the Yankees for a lot, but that's something I always admired the Yankees for.
And they probably were going to serve him, but Major League Baseball didn't know where Yankee headquarters was. We can't find it. We don't know where it is. It's a big city.
Yeah, wait,
You
it
could
used to
help
be
us.
on Fifth Avenue. Where did they go?
We can't find them. We can't serve the papers.
Yeah, so that was always my one thing about the Yankees that I could always lean on and say this is a pretty cool thing. So if you see
Well,
me
it's a funny
cheering,
thing because the only thing I can admire about the Dodgers is their uniforms. I think they have great uniforms.
eh, I don't know who came up with the red number on the
Somebody
blue
in Brooklyn.
jersey in front, but it was a stroke of genius.
Oh yeah.
It was an absolute stroke of genius. It just makes the uniform pop. It is the classiest. Well, it's one of the classiest uniforms in Major League Baseball. A sport that's loaded with classy uniforms.
And awful uniforms.
And yes, and some awful uniforms. Some nasty uniforms. Yeah, there have been some. Although, Mikey, the rebirth or the repassionization of the Montreal Expos uniforms
You've
has really
always been a
given
favorite of
me
yours. You always
some
helped them
kind of
along like they were a stepchild of baseball. Oh, you poor little Expos. Come along. We'll help you get on the bus.
yeah, yeah. We'll push you up into the bus. We like you, even though you're not from here. Even though you have a swimming pool in right field in your ballpark, we'll help you out
But they had play-by-play in French.
with um with I'm trying to think of the guy.
Claude
Well, it was
Osteen.
I know it was Claude Raymond,
Aha.
right? Uh, wasn't he the
And,
Dodger
Marie,
pitcher, Claude Raymond?
and Marie Chevalier.
And Maurice Chevalier, yeah. No, it was Biffé Gigaman.
Ah.
I rest my case. Anyway, should be a good series. I mean, both
Am I
teams
surprised? Am I surprised that Vinny knew that? I am not surprised that Vinny knew that.
do. I mean,
Get your baseball.
je sais pas, moi je prends, hey les deux, Pepe Le Pew, come here.
Yeah, lots of shoulders. Hey, when you gonna? Oh, uh.
Maybe that's what they ought to do. Get Pepe Le Pew to do the play-by-play. That's something I'd love to hear. I mean, I know he's gone, obviously, but boy, wouldn't it be cool listening to Mel Blanc doing play-by-play?
For the Dodgers for an inning.
For the Dodgers running in different voices.
Daffy Duck doing the Dodgers.
Fuffry fuckatash. Oh man, I would listen to that. I see now that I'd give you $19.99 a month for.
Yeah. Mel Blanc, Sirius
That would be
XM
worth. That
baseball
would be worth.
broadcast.
Um. So now, I think we're probably at this point here, as we hit the halfway mark in the show, probably going to make it turn into politics. Before we do that, I would like to just send out condolences and talk for a minute about a guy who passed away over the weekend.
Tony.
Our good friend of the show, somebody I got to know really well while we worked at Cairo together. He was local sports around here for many, many, many years. And kind of got what this job was, that it was entertainment as well as it was giving out the facts, and managed
bring
to
a little energy and personality.
Yeah, had personality. But we lost Tony Ventrella over the weekend. When I got here, I think he was on Cairo. I think he was on 7, if I'm not mistaken. And before that, he'd been at Como. He'd been at King. He bounced between the different channels. As a matter of fact, I replaced him as the weekend sports anchor at Q13.
Whoa.
When I did my first foray into being something that I never thought that I would be able to be, and that was a television sports anchor. And Tony was just a good human being. Just a guy who was a good person. You can hardly find a person that has anything really bad to say about Tony. Did he have his moments? Yeah, he had his moments like everybody has their moments. But he was a good guy. He had a great eye for story. that offbeat pub, interest in human interest, I guess they used to call it.
There you go.
That off
Feature.
human interest story. And came from, kind of common roots like we all did. His dad was a barber in, I believe, New Haven, Connecticut. And I always enjoyed working with the guy. I really enjoyed sitting and watching a game with him because our back east kind of thinking would mesh
Your
together.
filter. Yeah.
And he'd know what I was talking about when I said, "Well, listen, man," and both Italian guys, so he had the understanding of the general picture. He knew what it was to have to be home on Sunday afternoon, no matter what, for dinner. You didn't go anywhere else. You came home because mom was cooking. And if there was any meal during the week that you wanted to miss, it wasn't that one. Because that's what a family, got
Yeah,
together and spent time. And I guess I didn't know that he was sick for a while. I know the last time I'd seen him, he didn't look too good. So I had my suspicions, my thought that something was up. In his later years, he did a lot of work for the Seahawks on their channel, but just a good guy. Also a guy that proved to be much more than a good guy, a guy who really volunteered and did things to try to make the community around him better. He ran for Congress. It was Congress. Yeah, he ran for
Did he
Congress.
really? Wow. I
Yeah,
didn't
he
know that.
ran for a couple of other offices. He volunteered at food banks. I mean, he really took the mantle of somebody who, and we had talked about this many times, that part of the ticket, the price of admission for having this job that really isn't like a job, is that you have to give back at an extraordinary level, more than you'll ever get back. And Tony understood that and showed up to do it pretty much on a daily basis. I had him out to
And he
when I was
had
doing the
something
golf.
that's very difficult. It's difficult to put together a long run like he had in one market. Very, very hard.
Great. I think he started in the middle '80s, and again, as I said, we're still doing Seahawks stuff up until maybe a couple of months ago or a month ago or something. He's just one of those guys that you met and you talked to, and you just got that he wasn't infected with the business. And I wish his family well. I wish his soul well in wherever it's heading. And
It's headed there. It's on the move. It's on the move.
yeah, and I just I'm glad that he's a guy that I was lucky enough to spend some time sharing the earth with. He's one of those guys. He was just a really strong influence, if you will. He always did those. he, he did a thing with his hands. He always had this kind of. He would do this, when he would give a number, or he would do this number or this number or that or that. And the one thing that I noticed about Tony is that he did it when you were talking to him too. He had that same hand signal that, whatever it was, this or this or that or this or that, Um, he just always had it with him. He always used it. And I just, just a real guy, dynamite guy. Nobody with bad things to say about Tony has crossed my timeline again. So, Tony, wherever you are, goodbye. Thank you for being such a part of the Seattle sports scene and such a part of so many of our lives that we're trying to learn about this business and doing it on the fly while we were sitting in front of the camera for the most part or sitting behind a microphone for the most part. And he brought a sense of class, a sense of dignity, and a sense of it's
And fun. He was
sports.
a lighthearted guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's sports. So God rest his soul. My only disappointment is I know that he would have wanted to stick around for a couple more weeks to see what's going to happen here coming up in just 2 weeks from tomorrow. So, God rest your soul, Tony Ventrella.
Don't rest it too long. That's the kind of soul you want to turn around and use again.
Yeah, you want to give that soul to somebody that's coming up, it's coming around. It's a short term future.
Needs an edge.
I wonder. I mean, how long does it take for a soul to get reconditioned and put back into somebody's body?
Well, there's some that you don't want to send back right away. There's some you don't want to send back at all. There's some that have to be
Yeah.
reassigned.
Yeah, how do they figure that out?
Well, if you say anything nasty about Arnold Palmer before you die, that's a bad mark. That's a bad mark on your turnaround. How
Yeah,
many
but
Donnies from Queens
suppose
do
your
you need?
soul has so many things on it that the Arnold Palmer stuff doesn't even crack the top 100.
The top 20, yeah. Uh, it's a good idea to rest that one. Put it aside and just say, we learned from this one. We're not going to do it again.
Yeah, but they never learn. This guy's never going to
That's
learn, Michael. This
well, that's
guy's
why
never.
history repeats.
There's no part of me that says that I'm going to wake up one day and this guy's going to say, "Boy, have I been making some mistakes here."
And what about his cult? They say, what do you care? Arnold Palmer's dead. Well, you don't know him. Maybe he was an idiot. Trump got it right. He always gets it right. You're just jealous.
Yeah, I don't know. I see. I'm past blaming the person that puts this stuff out there, and I'm now on to blaming the people
Just
that
wrap it
that
up.
listen to him. At what point do you say to yourself, "Self,
To yourself.
this is all just bullshit"?
Note to self, are you still having fun? We love this guy. I can't find the word to describe him. He's just so much of what that is. He's so much of the thing I can't tell you about. That's all he is. He's something that can't be described. He's from another planet. He's from another world. He's from another era. We love him so dearly. He was a great president with great economic. And then they lie for 3 or 4 minutes, and you just say, well, there's no helping you. We're not going to turn around your soul either.
Yeah. At what point? At what point in time do you stop saying to him, "You're right," and start looking at the facts? And I know that the facts don't mean anything in that world.
There
It's
are no
nothing about
facts.
the facts. But when you see the people that he's influenced, when you see the people that are following him along, when you see the people who would stand there for hours in a pouring rainstorm or in 120-degree heat to go listen to this guy spend 2 hours denigrating
Wrap up
everybody
the
on the
poison.
planet, including you.
especially you.
I mean, at one point, do you look up and say,
I think he's
"I've
talking
had
about
enough of
me.
this comedy yet. It's time to go. It's time to change the direction, to move things." Or are you just so brainwashed? Are you just so um, whacked out that you're not going to look at that? That you're just going to go, "Yeah, he's right. I'm going to stand in the sun and I'll pay $150 for the privilege of
To do
doing
it,
that."
to be in his presence, to be in his energy field.
Yeah, and maybe I'll get my picture taken with him. Maybe I won't. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
I saw
go
him up
stand
close.
in line outside of a McDonald's that's been set up for staging an event to try to denigrate a person that worked at McDonald's, truly did work at
Yeah.
McDonald's, to get her way through college.
Trump was saying, I'm going to do the French fry. Like there was one fry that needed to be dealt with. I'm going to do the French fry. I'm doing the French fry.
Well, and that's what
He
it
did the
is.
French
He's
fry.
doing the French fries. He's not telling us how he's going to deal with North Korea. He's doing the French fries. He's not telling us how
He'll put
he's
them in the hot
going
oil.
to make our lives better.
Oh, better is the wrong word, but he's going to make them something.
We hear the same stuff that you heard from Nazi Germany in the 30s. The finger
Interesting thing
pointing at
about
one group.
when he's still
And
doing the story
say that
about
that group
cats and
needs to be
dogs.
eliminated.
He's still telling the story about eating cats and dogs. Hasn't changed it a bit. Hasn't changed the lines. Hasn't
Yeah,
changed this
even when
accusation.
he's
Hasn't changed
proven to
any
be
part of
wrong,
it.
because in his mind, he thinks he's right.
I'm right about this. Are you sure? Am I what? I'm right. I'm going to do the French fry.
Yeah, taste the tasty French fries. Put mayonnaise on those French fries. It tastes a lot better than ketchup.
That's how we do it in Queens.
That's how we do it in his part of Queens, not my part.
No.
But
Hell
in his
no.
part of Queens, if
Well,
you see a girl you like, you don't try to strike up a conversation. You don't
no,
try
that's a waste of
to
time.
uh, do the classy thing and try to tell her that you like her or tell her that you appreciate her. You grab her by the pussy.
Step one.
And that's a good thing. That disrespect of women
That's what they're
is a
looking
good
for.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
And is what makes you a man.
That's what they appreciate. That's how you become a man. But Vinny,
That's
12 million people have already voted. That's the good thing.
well, who's voting though, Michael?
Georgia and
Uh,
North
uh,
Carolina are the numbers we were watching.
right. Are the people voting for him right now, or the people voting right now, people that he sent to the polls? Is it people that have been, I don't know, sent to the polls by Donald Trump? Are they people
Well,
who,
we don't know their full motivation, but they're voting for one or two people and not Jill
well, you,
Stein.
you got Jill Stein in there, and she may get a percentage point here or there. Nothing, not enough to be. Well, I shouldn't say that because it is enough to be influential
Yes, it's enough to damage.
in
So
a
go
race
go
like
upset.
this. It is enough to do damage.
It's a problem.
So, um, guard your vote with your life. Go out there and,
But
and,
vote.
and exercise your right, whether it be on the 5th or whether it be on by mail or whether it be by early drop off, however it may be. Get out there and do your duty, and just take from the words. Yeah, take from the words of a Liz Cheney, who stood up on a stage this morning in Pennsylvania and talked about the various reasons she's going to do something that she never, ever, ever envisioned herself doing.
Events
and that is voting for
a Democrat.
A Democrat.
And a woman.
Voting for Kamala Harris. Doing what's right for her country over her party.
And her daddy's coming with her.
And old Dick Cheney is old shooting Dick is coming along with her for the ride.
You think George W. is going to say anything before the election?
I hope so. The one I'd really like to see say something is Nikki Haley.
No soul. No soul.
Because she's a recent.
Nice, but I don't have any hope that she will come around.
Yeah, I don't either. But I think that would be the coup. That would be if she stood up and said, I've just looked at this whole thing, and I just don't see any way that I can pick up a pen and mark Donald Trump's name on the ballot. And what's more,
he insulted my husband, but he has will
screw this country.
Coffee. Plus, he insulted my husband personally, but I can take that. He didn't mean it. He's a kidder. He kids a lot. He's a kidding person. He kids. If anything else can be said about him, he's a kidder.
He's a knee slapper. I mean, the fact that he insulted a whole ethnic group of which I'm part of. He insulted a whole group of Indians, which I'm part of.
Yeah, but you gotta have a thick skin if you want to be a female politician from South Carolina.
What's interesting? I looked for stuff over the weekend a little bit. I mean, I'm totally absorbed in, but I hadn't. You notice how quiet it's been about Mark Robinson?
He got very quiet when they took away his money.
That whack job that's running for governor in North Carolina.
The GOP pulled all the money from his spots.
Yeah, the black campaign. Nazi.
Yep. The very same.
Yeah,
the misunderstood Negro man.
The poor guy. The porn guy, excuse me. Maybe he was poor too. I don't know. Maybe he was buying discount porn. And that's why they left his name up on that thing. But the guy who was...
They were having a sale.
They were having a sale and he showed up. At the big, huge porn yard sale. Yeah, it's just gotten very quiet about him. And something tells me I don't like that. Something tells me
North Carolina got hit pretty hard by Helene. They're in the recovery mode.
Yeah, but still, you would think that somebody like that would use that as a platform, as somebody to get out there and say, well, listen, forget about what I did in the past. Let's think about what I'm doing right now.
It's the money thing. When they pulled the money from his spots, he just had no footprint anymore, no media footprint.
Yeah, I hope that's it. I hope there's nothing nefarious that's going on somewhere around there. I hope that the Republicans just decided to cut their losses here and get as far away from him as they could.
Hard to find another example of the Republicans doing the right thing, but that maybe is one.
Yeah, yeah, I would. Yeah, I would say that he is without a doubt somebody that you don't want to hitch your wagon to in any shape, manner, or form.
Fascinating character in one respect. How can one person hold such divergent views about life and still be alive, knowing that it's wrong, knowing that it's a lie, knowing that it's trash, and they're embracing it so willingly?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it it makes you wonder about the people. How many of those guys are out there that present themselves as one thing, yet are another, an absolute, total, another thing, and not anything like their campaign poster or their literature or whatever they are say to us that they are.
And then there's guys like Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House from Louisiana, who cannot tell the truth. He's like a child in the shadow of his older brother. If I do the right thing, if I tell the truth, if I say what I know is correct, my brother's going to beat the crap out of me. He's going to wail on me right here in front of you guys. So I'm with him.
Yeah.
What about the answer to my question? No details, but I'm with him.
Well,
Just
another
let Chad.
guy that's so wrapped up in his power that he'll do anything to keep it. He'll lie, he'll cheat, he'll steal, he'll do whatever he can do to keep it.
Sounds like Mitch McConnell to me.
Yeah, doesn't it? Is it that part of the country, Michael? Is it that strip there along the southern states?
The true old South.
Yeah, I mean, what is it about people from that part of the country that seem to
Well,
have
In
this?
Texas, they tetched. That's all. Slightly tetched.
Yeah, they got to be. They got to be. They got to have something wrong where the truth doesn't matter. They'll
Not even a
preach to you that it
consideration.
matters.
Oh, they'll do that.
They'll they'll
But it
they'll
doesn't
tell you
matter.
for 24/7 that the truth matters, that the word of God matters, that the Ten Commandments need to be on every piece of literature that we see, so that it's easy
To ignore.
to remember how to do the right thing.
But hard to do it. They won't do the right thing. They just espouse, talk about, discuss, postulate, uh, propaganda, but not to be followed. Not really to be
Yes,
followed. That's for suckers. For suckers
they
and
will
losers.
propaganda you,
Oh yeah.
not to be confused with an impropaganda.
Have you taken Jesus as your savior? No. Doesn't matter. Here's my next question. Would you if the money was right?
Yeah, you got to go with the money, right? You're
Got to
down
go
for
with the
your
dough.
come down there. I just don't get how people put their faith in those kind of people. But again, maybe it's um, maybe it is a way for them to justify why they love Trump. Maybe it's a way for
And you
them
got
to justify why their lives have gone belly up.
and you've
And
got to use the word doesn't.
and
It
that
doesn't matter. Doesn't I doesn't hear
got
you. I doesn't figure.
pay you no mind. That's what another one
Anyway,
I
the
always
short
like.
version
Pay
is
you no mind to that man.
and bless his little heart.
Now I was taught that bless his little heart is pretty much like saying F you.
It is.
Well, bless your little heart. That's pretty
You
much
got it.
the same thing as just saying screw you.
You're not
Um,
wrong. You're damn wrong.
yeah, you're not just wrong. You're damn wrong. Well, before
And
we
bless your
go,
heart.
Michael, I have a trade to propose to you.
Baseball trade?
Well, we would get some baseball teams out of it, yes.
Okay. What's your idea?
I'd say that we trade Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. I'll throw Georgia in there
What about Arkansas?
to whoever's in charge of this kind of stuff for Cuba.
Cuba.
Take those 4 states, give them to whoever it is, let all the Cubans move into those states, and we take over Cuba as what then would become the 47th state. And we get down there and we fix their power problems.
They do
We
have
probably
some
have
serious
enough
power
spare
problems.
parts sitting around
Fix it up.
to
Fix it
fix
to
their
suit.
power grid.
That's a major
Just
trade.
something to
The
think
league
about.
may step in to stop that one, but interesting idea.
I would certainly wouldn't mind having Cuba, and it's a great way to become a hero to people right now. Is you step in and you get them the parts that they need to get the power up and running, and
Turn on the
you
lights.
paint on every part, courtesy of the United States of America.
And because we gave you baseball here, now we're going to give you electricity, so you can see the game.
We're giving you baseball, now we're giving you the stuff to put the lights on to watch it. I mean, I know I come up with crazy ideas, Michael, but I think this is one that has some legs.
Well, I'd say make it a humanitarian gift in exchange for starting pitching.
Yeah. But I do wish that the Biden administration would take a look at this. It's a chance to help some people immediately who can't seem to figure out how to get the lights back on.
They went off and they're not coming back on.
Not until somebody goes down there and helps them. And I think that a lot of people wouldn't see much wrong with that, with helping not the government, because you're not helping the government, you're helping people.
That's why Elon Musk is not interested in this project.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're Elon Musk, wouldn't you be down there spreading your money around? Saying, hey, get these people the parts, get their internet up, get their lights up and running, get their internet up and running.
No,
Give them a savior. And let that savior be named the United States.
Good idea. They don't want Mississippi, I'm sure, but
what are we waiting for? Get these people the help they need. All right, Michael. Speaking about the help we need, what do you say we do this again on Wednesday?
Is it going to be a wacky Wednesday?
I think it's going to be a wild Wednesday because we will be right at the cusp, at the beginning of the final week
Of the campaign.
I mean, well, I guess today's the beginning of the final 2 weeks. We're the closer we get to it, the more it's becoming real.
15 days. Yeah.
Yeah, the more
I
it's
still haven't
becoming
voted.
real.
Have you voted yet? Have you voted yet?
No, I haven't even got my ballot yet, which I am starting to get a little concerned about. I may spend a little time today just getting on the Board of Elections website and
See what they
seeing
have
what's
planned.
happening with it. I don't think anybody in our house has gotten a ballot yet,
Well, I've got my
which,
ballot. I
like
just
I
haven't done it
say,
yet.
concerns me. It wouldn't shock me if there were some kind of widespread, these bags got
Slowdown.
dumped off somewhere.
Nah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I think so. But I'm certainly going to go on the Board of Elections website today and check it out.
I'll see you on
But
Wednesday, Vinny.
I'll
Take
see
care
you
of
on
yourself
Wednesday,
until
Michael. If
then.
the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. Until then, folks, do us a favor. Do me a favor, at least. I don't know if Michael wants to jump in on this, but do the community a favor and make sure that everybody you know who may not have a car or a truck or a means to get to their polling place gets to their polling place. If you got to take a couple of minutes out of your time and either drive them to a polling place or drive them to a mailbox so they can drop off their ballot or whatever, however it may be. This is too important of an election to let one vote slip through the cracks.
How important of an election? Every vote is necessary. Every vote must count. Every vote
Every
is
vote
important.
counts. Every vote counts, Michael. Every vote. Please don't um don't don't be the one standing there on the day after election day saying I could have done this and I could have done that and I could have done this.
And for Tony Ventrella, I'm using my fingers to emphasize that there's one man, one vote, one woman, one vote. Vote. This vote is important. This one right here.
The vote is very important. Very important. Tony, rest in peace. We love you, pal. And
See you, Vinny.
Michael, see you on Wednesday. Until then, peace, love, and Manischewitz.
What a wine.
Great wine, great show, and we enjoyed your company today. Thank you so much for hanging with us, and we will again see you on Wednesday morning at 10:10, right here on Mikey and Vinny Take on the World. All right, take care, peace.